Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of the Summer Festival event. Now, I know it's been a while, caught a bad cold, and so I was out for a good little while there, and so hoping to get back onto the video grind. And so I have crossed 2 million here at Snowdrop, and I'm still looking for Delibird, and I'm thinking we can talk a little bit about Cramorant in this video as well. And so my strategy overall has been cooking the spicy leek curry. My team is very well suited for that. We can pop into the team view just briefly. For those of you who are a member of my Discord server, you have been all up to date what I've been up to in terms of Pokemon Sleep. And so this is basically my strongest team. Salads is my strongest dish, and so curry is just okay. And so most of you will have seen my Sylveon at this point. It is very nice. I like it a lot, and I do look forward to future level unlocks where I can get to that level 75. That's going to be nice. And then my Walrein with Befriended and Adamant Nature, pretty strong. Also looking forward to get to that level 75 with this Walrein sometime in the future to really unlock some more skill value. And then the Tyranitar is a staple on my team. It produces warming ginger and beans, which is great for Ninja Salad. The beans are just fillers now with the spicy leek curry. And so overall not particularly ingredients focused. It is berry finding, so it kind of evens out. And personally, I really like the Sleep EXP on a pseudo legendary because they have a high and steep EXP curve. And then the inventory is nice too because of that berry finding. And overall, it's a very balanced Tyranitar. It's not mono ginger, it's berry finding, but overall it's doing a lot of work. It's also got a main skill seed in that main skill. I thought it was bugged at some point, and I thought maybe using a main skill seed would help it, but it turns out the nature influences the amount of energy healed, so it's actually just healing 23 each time, and it was an early mistake. Let's move on. So the Ditto here, I'm working on getting towards level 55, and then I'm thinking to hold off on my resources to just boost it straight to level 60 once that is unlocked, because this is a Tails Ditto, and so this one as well. Level 75 is going to be nice. I'm going to sub-skill see that ingredient finder. And at that point, this Ditto is going to be pretty cracked. So it's got berry finding as well. So Snowdrop Tundra, just stacking my mons here. And then I have a mono herb Ampharos, which is very handy this week with spicy leek curry. I had a bit of leeks, excuse me, and ginger saved up from, and some herbs too. I just had a lot of stuff prepared because I spent all last week preparing. And so by just having Ampharos, I have 55% area bonus to Snowdrop. And so I'm getting a lot from the skill. I'm getting herbs. And overall, it's just a really strong Pokemon and a really strong team overall. I'm probably going to hit a new record this weekend unless I do some sort of 50-50 nap main split. I'm looking, so currently, if I just don't do anything, Saturday into Sunday will be double drowsy because of the Good Sleep Day event. And I'm at 2 mil. My current record is at 360 million. And so I think it could be interesting to just go all out on Saturday and set a record of like 500 plus mil. That could be interesting. I don't think I'll be doing any naps anytime soon. I do have some issues with time recently, in addition to recovering from this cold. If I cough at some point, I'm very sorry. Can't help it. And I prepared some water, so let's hop into this sleep report. It's been a while, hasn't it? Dosing. This is my first dosing all week. And if I'm not mistaken, because of the Summer Festival event, we kind of get Pokemon from all sleep styles, but in past experience, it seems that the sleep style still influences the majority of the Pokemon you get. So I'm looking for Delibird. I know Cramorant is on the screen. We'll bring it back at some point. I'm not very optimistic or fond of Cramorant. Haven't caught a single one, probably won't catch a single one either. So kind of is what it is. But yeah, and I also didn't even get like 100% sleep score. Double Psyduck, Slowpoke, Krogunk, Abomasnow, Primeape. Uh-oh. There's the Delibird. Let's go. I'm still on the hunt for that Delibird, man. And I was real hopeful I would get it today. So had to just jump on the video here and start the daily grind again. So some of you might have seen that Brovinnie over on Bropenings. Bropenings. I don't know how to pronounce his channel name. He just goes by Brovinnie. He put out a video on a spreadsheet that I pieced together. That is now updated to version 1.8.0. And I'm also working on a sleep style tracker sheet for that spreadsheet. Some of you in the nirtheart Discord has requested that. And then on the locations tab, I'm also working on adding a symbol so that when the Pokemon shows up, you also know which sleep type they are. So seems like at least one of these Golducks will... Wait, there's an Absol? That was totally disguised in the snow for me. That is interesting. I will also feed the other Psyduck just because I think long-term Golduck could be a really funny Pokemon to have, especially if I end up with a strong Suicune. I have a couple Master Biscuits saved up for Suicune, and we can talk a little bit about the growth event as well, because that is very interesting in terms of the spacing of these events. But we'll get back to that. So, I didn't see the Absol at all. That was disguised in the snow. Let's count here. So it's got 10 exactly. So if I do Premium Biscuit, Great, then the Delibird. Let's go. Crit on the Premium Biscuit. So I don't even have to do anything more on that Delibird. My problem now is I hit Friendship level 10, which means every single Delibird hereafter will have at least one golden skill. I don't want any of the gold skills except helping bonus, so this is going to be rough. But for the most part, I'm just looking for hopefully 2 boosts to its ingredients, either like Nature, Ingredient M, or maybe Ingredient M and Ingredient S. These will have to show up then at level 25 and 50, which is a problem. But yeah, I'll just have to deal with that. So I have already a really strong Absol, and I think I'm done for today. I have scooped on some bundles, so yeah, that's that. Okay, let's move on here to reviewing some Pokemon. Got a Delibird. That is very exciting. I am desperate for an egg farmer, although I do have 2 mono egg Altaria at this point, which can do a bit of work. I just think it would be much better to have a dedicated egg farmer in the Delibird. I've given up on Abomasnow and Snover. They rarely show up for me. And at this point, I've started hunting Delibird so long that I just need to finish this hunt and move on. So, we got a Psyduck, not Golduck. And that is amazing. Okay, so what am I looking for here? I'm actually pretty fond of the Golduck. It is kind of an interesting Pokemon in the sense that it's a skill specialist and it has a ridiculous skill rate. The skill Charge Strength S is a lot weaker than Charge Strength M naturally. And so the Pokemon here is compensated by having a higher skill rate. The skill rate though is so high that essentially you have to log in every 20 minutes and pop the Pokemon to run it optimally. So that is kind of weird, but I'm thinking in short segments, it can be quite interesting to run the Golduck because it has apples as one of its drops, and it drops a lot of apples too. So let's say if I can find a double apple Psyduck that has at least a couple skill triggers potentially helping bonus or berry finding, something like that would be really nice because then it stacks with the Suicune And yeah, I'm mostly interested for the skill and the apples, and then somehow if I can get a berry finding or helping bonus too, that would just be the cherry on top. So Psyduck for me is a very long-term hunt. It is a skill specialist, so eventually I'll have to dump seeds into it too. So I'm thinking like sometime within the next year, maybe I can find a Psyduck, just taking it real slow. But let's get on to it. So what are we looking at here? Energy recovery bonus and inventory. Those are two troll skills. You don't want inventory at all on the Golduck because you're triggering so often potentially. Like it starts at 12%. So every production you have a 1 in 8 chance of triggering the skill. And that is so high to begin with that you kind of just have to pop every production. But then if you have skill triggers in addition to that, you probably can bring that up to like 20%. So you have a 1 in 5 chance. And so when you're just popping the Golduck all day, every day, you don't need the inventory. Skill level up M is nice. Ingredient finder S is nice. Main skill chance down. Oof, that sucks. This is just unusable at that point. All right, everyone. Here's the Delibird. We've been here many times before. Let's see if this is the last one. No, it's a mixed set. I have not found a single Delibird that has mono eggs. And for some reason, the game wants to give me the berry finding. I don't want it. I really don't want the berry finding on the Delibird. I just strictly want it to do eggs and do eggs greatly. And then I want to just move on. I am kind of looking for a Pokemon to do apples though. So maybe I'll decide that this is my apples Pokemon and then I'll do eggs on the Snover, but I feel like I've hunted Delibird so long that I kind of just need to keep going until I find the mono eggs. So berry finding, helping speed, skill level up. Skill level is useless, and so is the skill trigger on the Delibird. It is so low. It's 1.5 and it's ingredient magnet, so it's not very strong. Skill chance up 2 and EXP gains down. You typically want neutral EXP or EXP up potentially on the Pokemon that have the berry finding. Obviously speed is the very, very best. In this case, it's an ingredient specialist, so it's got nothing here. Bad ingredient list. Not a single thing that helps ingredients except that small speed buff. I will keep it around, but it's not what I'm looking for, unfortunately. And so we have a couple of topics here to cover in this video. I'm just thinking to do everything in one. So we have the growth event, which has been announced. We have Cramorant. We have version 1.8 and okay, it's just on my screen, but I have this shortcut to make my screen black and white, and now it doesn't want to go back again. Okay, I'm just gonna have to play the game then in black and white, I guess. Oh, come on. Okay, I give up. Well, at the very least, we have color here on the main screen, which is the most important thing. I have been pretty satisfied with these events. Oh, of course, we have the Cramomatic. I have waited all day, every day to do this with you all. So we have the Candy Cramomatic. I am personally using it 3 times a day, and I am specifically using the Wobbuffet Candy. I don't want it at all. That was one of the reasons why I put out that spreadsheet to begin with and asked Brovinnie to make a video on it, because I was just out, and thankfully he did. I was super appreciative of that. Made my day, and I think that has been helpful for a lot of you guys. And so one of the features that I liked about the spreadsheet that he kind of highlighted a little bit, but it's the targets. Like, you can sort out which Pokemon you're specifically looking for and the Pokemon you're not looking for. And in that case, you can like put Pokemon in the not hunting or never hunting. And in my case, I'm never going to hunt Wobbuffet no matter what they do, because the Gardevoir is so strong and it already works for Lapis. So Gardevoir, Wobbuffet, Wobbuffet is never going to become Gardevoir. And so at that point, it's just a waste of a Pokemon. So I'm just using up all my Wobbuffet candy. Where did it go? I can't see color on my screen, so this got a little bit awkward, but yeah. I've also submitted daily to Brovinnie's research on the candy distribution here. Yo, is that a crit? No, they just like to lower the light. All right, well, let's do it the third time. So yeah, for me, it's using too many dream shards to go for that fourth time. 40,000 dream shards is a lot, and so when I on top don't really have that many Wobbuffet candy left, thinking to just stop at 3 a day. So got quite a bit of candy, and it seems there is like a 36% chance or something like that, according to Brovinnie's research, of it being the same type as the candy you put in. In my case, I don't really have all that many psychic type Pokemon, but what I'm thinking is there was some evolution I got. I can't remember which one. Let me see. Do I have Espeon? I do have the Espeon. This one showed up hungry twice in the past 2 weeks. And so what I can do is I can go down here and I can use the psychic type Candy M on the Espeon. Just use one as an example. And Eevee Candy comes out. So I can use that candy on my Sylveon, which is what I'm intending to do. So essentially there are 9 types for the evolution. It's normal, fire, electric, water, psychic, dark, grass, ice, and fairy. And there are 18 types in total. So essentially 50% of all type candy can be funneled into Eevee candy, which can then be redistributed to any evolution you want. So for me, my Sylveon is so strong that I'm probably not going to reinvest in a Gardevoir anytime soon or anything like that. And I'm also thinking I can find other Pokemon to do the, like my Flareon is level 50, my Glaceon is just mid, so I'm not looking to really carry that one too hard either. So potentially just spiking my Sylveon to level 100 with all the Eevee candy I can get my hands on and just keep it at that. So there was another thing we need to talk about in this video, and that is version 1.8. I think overall my widget has started to get a little bit outdated here and there. So my apologies if some of these numbers have started to lag a little bit. We'll have to uncover that over time. The reason is I am currently working on developing a website. Some of you may know this already, but it is going to be nirtheart.com, and I am programming a widget-like summary for each of the Pokemon, and I'm also writing original analysis in the style of an article for each Pokemon. And then in addition to that, it is very well connected on the website. So essentially the skeleton in the website is done, but writing the articles taken a long time, and I really want to produce some really great articles on each Pokemon, like strategy and history section and a lot on just each individual Pokemon. So that part is going to take hundreds and hundreds of hours. And so essentially the website is very well connected. It has a lot of lists and it's very easy to navigate. And so it won't have any deep calculators, complicated stuff like RaenonX. I'm thinking that my website can be a little bit of a stepping stone for those of you who want to go real deep in Pokemon Sleep. It's a very interesting and complicated game. But I will at some point too develop a widget that kind of looks like my expansion. Now I've switched computers, so I don't have that available. But I want to build a widget where you can add subskills, add nature, flip around a little bit on the ingredient lists so that you get accurate numbers. For example, if I add ingredient finder M, ingredient finder S, helping speed and level to this Delibird, I wanted to show exactly what those percentages become, and then have two Pokemon next to each other and compare it. At this point in time, it's just an idea, and it's something that I'm working on, and so hopefully in the near future, I can be able to publish the website as a part 1, and then add the builder later. So in terms of videos, I will try to do daily videos. At some points, I may take a week, 2 weeks, a whole month off to work on my website. That is not related to the past 2 weeks, which I have been sick. But that's just, I was thinking about that the same week that I got sick, so it was kind of funny. It would have been very interesting if I put out that video before I got sick, then everyone would be on board, but okay, so version 1.8, what has happened? Pinsir got increased carry limit and a higher ingredient finder rate. That's great for me. I'm still looking for a Pinsir kind of on the back burner. I would love to have a farmer for apples, and Pinsir is a great contestant for that, especially considering that you might not even need mono apples, or in this case it will be like dual apple or double apple. I don't like calling Pokemon mono if they don't have the whole row. And so a double apple Pinsir would be great, but even honey, apple, honey would work for me. I just cap it at level 30 and be happy, and then run it at tag team with Venusaur. And so the fact that it's getting an increased carry limit, which is reflected here, so 24 is the new one, and the ingredient rate is kind of right. The other Pokemon was Heracross. I don't like Heracross. Maybe it will become something in the future. I don't know. So it went from 4140 to 40 blank on the frequency, and then it went from 18 to 20 on the inventory, and 5% increased skill chance. That is a pretty big buff to the Heracross, so it's starting to creep up towards Slackkoth in that evolution, or Slack-King rather. Vigoroth has a different skill rate. But what I wanted to say in terms of the Chromomatic too, I wish I had been able to put out this video before the Candy Chromomatic, but I will piece together a video on my new spreadsheet once I have like finished another version of it. And it's going to be pretty interesting because I think at some point in the future we will see Mega Evolutions. The game really seems to have prepared for it in a weird sense. Like if you look at a lot of the bottom tier Pokemon, a striking pattern is they all have Mega Evolutions, and I don't think that's a coincidence. There are a lot of Pokemon that do have Mega Evolutions, but the fact that there are so many in Pokemon Sleep, like Pinsir, Heracross, Absol, Kangaskhan, there's just a lot of weirdness surrounding it. My point being, the Candy Chromomatic, you probably don't want to waste Sableye Candy, because Sableye has a Mega Evolution, or even Meowth. Meowth has several evolutions in future generations, and so the likelihood of those Pokemon being introduced in Sleep at some point is pretty high. And at that point, Meowth Candy may be a candy that you want to hold on to. And unfortunately, I was unable to give that PSA out earlier for the public viewers, but we discussed this in detail in my nirtheart Discord, so that's that. The other thing that we have been speculating for a while in nirtheart, my Discord, become a YouTube member and join us, is I didn't think that they were going to jump right into Suicune. And this confirms it, because based on the pattern from Raikou and Entei, this week right here, with the growth week, which is not next week, but the week after, is exactly the kind of pause you have until July 15th and that week, which is the 1-year anniversary. So essentially, growth week is just a filler to let us know that there is a 1-year anniversary event. And so that is pretty exciting. And so I think personally, July 15th will be... Do we have... No, I don't have the calendar. I'm sorry. Didn't prepare that. We'll just have to talk in this video, and you guys can figure the rest out. So July 15th is going to be the 1-year anniversary week, for sure. I'll stake my reputation on that. It's very, very likely. And at that point, I think we are potentially looking at Water Week in the first week of August, and then a break week, and then 2 weeks this weekend. That's my guess. And then potentially, I think what we're looking at is a little bit of a dull period until whatever's happening with Halloween. Maybe there is a new area at some point in September, for example. That could be nice, because then we have had the 1 year anniversary of had Suicune, and then what? Boom, new area, Halloween's happening, and then all of a sudden it's Christmas, and it seems to be packed with a lot of events. So, Growth Week, what is happening? The main thing here is Helper Pokemon gains 1.5 times the experience. I think that is from Sleep Research. Opportunity to get more Sleep EXP and candies than usual. Okay, so it would be pretty interesting if candies spent during Growth Week would give a 1.5 multiplier. I don't think that's the case, but it kind of reads like that in the bonuses, because it says Helper, no, Sleep EXP. I misread, my bad. I was just thinking the optimization here would be crazy. Candies gained from the first Sleep Research, so there won't be any naps here for the most part, unless you crack like 300 mil, then yeah, that won't do. So I'm currently sitting at 55% at Snowdrop, so I'll be looking at doing the ZZZ ticket, because I'll be staying at Snowdrop until I find the Delibird. I'm desperate, I want it. Hopefully this increased drowsy power this week is going to be helpful. I'll probably have to consider trying to do some dozing naps somehow, maybe on Sunday. I don't know, we'll just have to see. But the candies is going to be nice on Snowdrop. I want all the Absol candy and Delibird candy and Spheal candy and all the rest. So that's going to be good. So that's what I'm going to do this week and next week and the week after. And then we'll see whatever happens with the 1 year anniversary, because that is happening. And it's almost to the point where I'm wondering if there are so many Pokemon topics that kind of merge here that potentially we could be looking at a Pokemon Direct sometime soon too. But we'll just have to see. I feel like it's been a long, dry period for Pokemon, aside from Sleep. Sleep has been very exciting. And so let's see if we covered everything. Oh yeah, Cramorant. Oof. Cramorant is not a good Pokemon, in my opinion. And at some point in time, I am considering to put out a video on Tasty Chance S, because essentially I think I figured out how to estimate the value of Tasty Chance S. So the way you can think of it is, when you get a trigger from a max level currently, which is level 6 Tasty Chance Pokemon, you get a 10% increase to the Tasty Chance. The Tasty Chance gives you twice the strength, and so it is 10% of that additional value, which, for example, if you typically cook 50,000 a meal, which is what I'm currently doing, if I get Tasty Chance, or Extra Tasty rather, then it's 100. So for each trigger of 10%, it is 10% of 50,000. That's 5,000. My Ampharos does 10,000 each trigger. And at that point, I don't really care about the Dedenne. I don't care about Cramorant. And hot take, I don't think the Dedenne strategy of having 5 level 1 main skill Tasty Chance S is a good strategy. You probably lose out on way more from just running Berry Specialists or just cooking all those times that you skip. So I've done this on video before, but I think actually I would have done better by just simply cooking. Where that may not be the case is, but then again, no, it makes no sense. Even if you prepare the cooking power up and make a huge dish, I don't think the Dedenne makes much sense either. So hopefully in the future they will buff the Dedenne a little bit, and potentially what I'm thinking is Tasty Chance S will probably scale better than Charge Strength M as the main skill level goes up and as we get bigger dishes. So potentially for that level 60 unlock and more bigger, newer dishes, perhaps the Dene will be a stronger Pokemon. So my take here on Cramorant probably will change then. We'll have to see. I am surprised by the skill rate. That is pretty high for an ingredient specialist. But as it stands, it's just not working. So it's fairly slow. Toxicroak is like 50, I believe. 56. Well, yeah, Toxicroak is a slow Pokemon, but if you look at the ingredient rate, it is a decent chunk higher than Cramorant, which is 16.5. That sucks. And what's interesting with the Toxicroak is it requires 12 points to recruit. Krogunk can be recruited by 5 points. And Cramorant is sitting at 16, I believe, which is pretty high. And Toxicroak doesn't have a C ingredient, so you have a 1 in 6 chance instead of a 1 in 9 chance of getting mono oil, which is what you want. And even on a Toxicroak, if you just get double oil and cap it at level 30 and call it a day, that works too for most. And then Cramorant also has potatoes, 4 and 7. I think Victory Bell still is the better potato Pokemon. It's got basically the same speed. It drops 1 less potato at level 60, but its base ingredient rate is 23% instead of 16. So Victory Bell, a way better Pokemon. And I think personally Charge Strength S is a better skill than Tasty Chance S at this point in time. And so I'd rather have that personally. Okay, we covered a lot in this video. It was half an hour. No nap sessions in this one. Hope you guys are excited about Pokemon Sleep and are enjoying the game. And then, yeah, we're back to making videos. So if you enjoyed this one and overall I'm having a good time here on the channel, you can consider becoming a YouTube member and joining my Discord. It is a really great place to be if you're interested in Pokemon, Pokemon Sleep, but also the main series. It is a great community, and so we would warmly welcome you over there. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching.